Cheapo. Well, friends, dark times are upon us. As you have probably heard, unless you haven't, Pound World has closed down. Don't worry, Poundland is still going. The major player still is strong. But yep, a few years ago we had 99p stores in Pound World and Poundland, and now we merely have Poundland. For you cannot stand against the might of Poundland and expect to survive. But yeah, Pound World has totally closed down and it's gone. And that's not a pound shop that's a thing anymore. So I went into the one in Norwich last week and, well, it was slim pickings, my friends. As you can see here, the vast majority of it kind of empty. And the saddest bit was round a corner they'd found up some old Halloween and Christmas stock and were just like knocking it out for a few pence from some cardboard boxes. Oh, sad times, sad times. But I did manage to get enough for a final Pound World haul, if you like. And if you don't like, because that's kind of what happened. Basically, I went around and just bought any interesting items that were left. And I had no idea what they'd cost, because everything was discounted with different rates and you just couldn't work it out. Basically, this whole lot of items I'm going to show you cost £6.10. No, it didn't. It cost £6.05, but I gave them £6.10 and got 5p change. See, I just read that on the bottom of the old receipt there. But yep, £6.05 was the total. And there were quite a lot of interesting little items, actually. Some weird stuff, some useful stuff, some decent stuff. Let me stop waffling and show one of them to you by putting it in front of this camera. So let's begin with something that I just saw and just was amused by. A spiky eyeball that floats in like a thing with glitter shavings. Actually, I should probably take the sticker off, shouldn't I? One for the sad onion connoisseurs out there. That's all of you. Yeah. It's bouncy ball. Quite bouncy. And it looks really grotesque. And it's just unnecessarily weird. Why are there spikes around the eye? I mean, the eye with its weird serrated retina is strange enough. Why is there glitter in it? I mean, it's quite bouncy as it goes, but it's quite a nice thing. Plus, wait for it. Oh! It even flashes and lights up. What would you pay for such a thing? Usually £1, obviously, because it was Poundland. Well, saying that, Pound World actually sold quite a lot of items that did cost more than £1. It was confusing at times. I think that was in an effort to sort of stop them going under. It did not work, quite obviously, which is a shame. But yeah, just going to slap my eyeball so it flashes. That's not something you hear very often on the internet. This was eyeball ball. £1 with 50p off, so it cost 50p. 50p for a bouncing, light-up, weird, spiky eyeball floating in glitter shards. I mean, you can't argue with value like that, can you? Not even a little bit. I also bought one of these generic trophies, clearly left over from Father's Day, by the way it says Father's Day trophy on it. #1 Dad. Just these things are useful for little joke stuff. You can just replace the sticker with whatever is relevant at the time. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like give it away to somebody who'd actually won a Formula 1 race or something, but as a little joke thing, these things are quite useful to store in a cupboard and forget and find accidentally 15 years later. How much do you think it was, guys? If you said 30p, you were correct. Originally £1, 70p off, cost 30p. I mean, again, you can't argue with value like that, because value is kind of an ethereal concept, and therefore it's impossible to hold a conversation with it. Next up, from the box at the end of the shop, the old Halloween stuff, some weird green makeup cream that we might use for something one day. I have a little sort of box full of stuff like this. Unfortunately, most of it's from Poundland, and I do get the impression that if we actually did a proper production and needed proper makeup, we would have to get somebody in and buy some stuff. But we do have some cheap green, stick it on your face and look a bit like a rotten Helena Bonham Carter, apparently, cream from Deception. I am Deception. Please buy my makeup cream. How much? How much, guys? How much do you think this would cost? If you guessed... Yeah, I'm spinning it because I can't find it on the bloody receipt. Hang on. Here we are. Halloween makeup. Originally 50p. Oh, the full price for this was 50p. That is interesting. Probably means you got two for £1 or something at the time. And with a 70% discount on this, ooh, it cost me only 15p. 15p for some weird green makeup. Again, You can't argue with that. Well, I mean, you could, but you'd just be shouting into yourself, and at the end of the day, that's a bit weird. Here's a bloody great head torch. Look at the amount of LEDs in this. You could light up the moon with this. So I have seen one of these running, and it's like quite an effective head torch. It's big, it's got a lot of LEDs in it, and it's got a good reflection thing on it. Plus, it was made by Mark Hamill out of Star Wars, so that's cool, isn't it? Yeah, and the strap actually seemed big enough to go over the average human head, whereas often with these cheap things, they're not. But yeah, perfectly serviceable thing. Didn't have an LED head torch. Now I do. How much did it cost me? Originally only £1, 50p discount, merely 50 pence. 50 pence to be able to light up the night as you commit your murders in the name of Luke Skywalker. You see? You can't argue with that. I'm going to stop saying that now. No, I'm not. You can't argue with that kind of value. Well, maybe you should have argued with it, because now the shop's gone bust. Yeah, didn't think of that, did you? Right, next up, something slightly more upmarket. A Johnny Depp character thing. Tonto from Disney Infinity. I don't know which version of Disney Infinity. So, you may remember... oh, it's 2.0, there we are. There was, back in the day, a thing called Skylanders. I don't know what's back in the day, it probably still exists. Very popular. Toys to life thing. You get a little statue of a toy. You stick it on a RFID thing, it appears in the game. Disney thought, we shall have ourselves some of this. So they made these Infinity figures, and they made multiple mistakes with them. One of the first mistakes is they're too bloody nice. They're like really super high quality. Amazing paint jobs on everything all the time. Really beautifully sculpted. It's sort of in this stylised cartoon style, so they all sort of loosely fit together no matter which property they were from, even if it was a massively failed one like the Lone Ranger. I've never seen the film. It was Armie Hammer, was it? I forget. But, yeah, I've heard bad things. I know that Lego made some sets about it and now pretend they don't, like they did with the Prince of Persia film with Jake Gyllenhaal. But yes, they were too expensive to produce, basically, and therefore too expensive to really buy. Plus, Disney Infinity 1, everything was all locked off, so you couldn't, like, mix all the characters together. So then they made Disney Infinity 2, which was like the, we've opened it all up now, play without limits. Still had loads of fucking limits on it. Unbelievable. And it wasn't until Disney Infinity 3.0 you could actually mix things together properly. And by that time, the whole thing had become a massive, massive hole in the floor to throw money into. So that was the end of Disney Infinity. They have, however, kept the kind of styling going with these things called Disney Playbox or something, which are like much bigger, really nicely articulated figures, sort of chunky in this style, and they sell them for £10 a pop in the Disney store. And I've seen them in there as cheap as £5, which is interesting, because that's like a really good price. I mean, it's like £10 for a tiny little 3¾ inch figure, but you can get a sort of much bigger, chunkier thing for the kids for the same price or less. So there we are. Anyway, Johnny Depp, you apparently beat your wife. So you can fuck off over there. Right, next up. Oh, hang on, I didn't tell you how much it was. Let's have a look. Infinity figures, originally sold in there for £3. Which is pretty good, actually, considering they're like £250,000 each new. But they only had characters nobody wanted, of course. 50% off, so that was £1.50. Only £1.50 to line my bin with a little Johnny Depp. What more could you ask for? Next up, an optical mouse from Kinorkin. That's a move that Ryu is trying to master in Street Fighter. So yeah, USB 2 optical mouse. Can't really say much more than that. It's tiny. I've got one of these that I use for testing stuff, and now I have two, apparently. It feels very plasticky and a bit cheap. It works fine. It's even got a scroll wheel with the extra push-it-down button joy. Yeah, I mean, it just sort of works. You wouldn't want to use it for, like, work every day or anything. Well, the left button's a little bit daffy on this one. The one I've got previously is fine. Oh, no, I've worn it in. It's okay now. Yeah. It's just like a really cheap mouse to check something with. And basically, they used to just knock these out for £1. It's like if you just need a cheap mouse to test for £1, that's really good. But how much did I pay for it, friends? Well, optical mouse, £1, 70% off, 30p. 30 bloody p. You can't argue with quality like that. No, I've forgotten the bloody useless catchphrase I was using now. Let's come up with a new one. Hats? I don't even dance. No, wait, that makes no sense. Anyway, next, Only found a bloody Blu-ray. In fact, there were a few, but this was the only one of a film a human might actually watch. In the Valley of Elah. Sometimes the truth is best left buried. You've got Charlize Theron there, and you've got the mighty Tommy Lee Jones, looking grizzled and upset, as he appears to permanently do. Let's have a look. I'm trying to work out if he plays a policeman in this one, like he nearly always does. Nope. Charlize Theron is the police detective in this. Oh. So I nearly didn't buy this because I thought I've already got it and bought it from Poundland before. But that was a film called In the Electric Mist, which has a very similar title and has a big picture of Tommy Lee Jones looking like that on the cover. So, you know, I can't tell you if this film's good or not because I haven't seen it. But hey, it was in their £2 or 2 for £3 Blu-ray section. As you can guess, those prices no longer applied. This Blu-ray was... come on, where is it? There it is. So the £2, it had 70% off, so it cost me 60p. 60p for that, brand new. You could probably sell it to CEX for 40p and lose 20p. Yeah, okay, let's not do that. Next up, slime that glows in the dark. Super sticky, glow in the dark. Lovely. So this is quite obviously a rip-off of the famous Nickelodeon slime, because it's like really, really similar packaging. But it's from HTI Toys, made in China. Of course it is. Everything is, including you. Sci-fi plot twist. Yes. Oh, I thought it was going to be like in a sort of box or something. No, it's literally... Oh, it's not actually slime. It's just some sticky stuff. That, you know, much like those little toys. They used to make little sort of men out of it, and you throw them at the wall, and they'd stick and fall down the wall and leave marks on the paint, and your mum would fucking kill you. Yeah, and apparently it glows in the dark. Do you know what? I don't care enough to test it. How much was it? Let's have a look. This is the music that we play as we look on the receipt. GITD slime, there we are. Not actually slime. You lied to me and now I believe in nothing. £1, 50p off. 50p. 50p for that. I'm going to be honest. This is the only one I feel like isn't even worth the 50p, frankly. Keep the kids amused for 10 seconds before they drop it on the carpet and ruin everything. Right, I didn't want to get it on the sofa, frankly. Right, 2 more items remain. The first is... Whisper from Yokai Watch. Glow-in-the-dark figure. Oh, there's a lot of glow-in-the-dark stuff today. Don't know what the fuck this is, frankly. Yokai Watch, some sort of kid show, I think. You can download, scan and discover. I will be doing none of those 3 things. And comes with an exclusive bit of plastic. They also had him in different poses. So obviously he's like one of the main characters in Yokai Watch. Yokai is like a kind of... demon thing, is it? I don't really know. And watch apparently is literally a watch that somebody has that like summons yokai or upsets yokai or shouts yokai so you can't sleep. I don't really understand. I'll tell you what I am going to do though. Open her up and see the quality. Oh, it's really nicely made, actually. Oh, so this goes in its guts? Like, what? That's kind of strange. Industrial accident! Oh, don't make the same mistake I did! There we are, you can rent that out as a PIF. Yeah. Well, he looks happy over something. Give me 5. I'm a white poo. How much was this very solid collectible? I'm going to call it a collectible and not just a disappointing lump of plastic. Yokai Watch figure. They were selling them for £1. It was half price. It was 50p. You can't argue with value like that, is what he probably doesn't say in the programme. I don't know. I've never seen it and I almost certainly never will. And the final device. Kids colouring headphones. Hi, I'm a kid and I've coloured in these headphones, and now I present my own Radio 1 show. Here's Bachman Turner Overdrive with you. Ain't seen nothing yet. Includes 4 stickers and crayons to colour and customise. Great. Features kid safe 85 decibel volume limit. Probably need a bit more than that as you get older. Specifically designed to fit kids' ears. Great for music, movies and video games. Designed for 3 to 9 years, so will not fit over your head. Well, that's interesting. I haven't actually opened these up. They also did a pink pair, apparently, for girls, because everything has to be gendered by colour, apparently, even if they're just fucking devices to hear music through. But they didn't have any of those, so I just bought this one. Here's the stickers. Featuring Volume Robot. Plane with the pilot has jumped out, so it's going to plummet and kill somebody. and Crap Shark. Marvellous. And in this bag, teeny tiny headphones. Well, yeah, they look like this. Well, they're headphones. Appear to be relatively solidly made. Oh, look! There we are. Look, you can colour in this exclusive space scene as well as putting the other stickers on. Let's see how well it actually takes the crayon. Oh, yeah, very well, actually. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Oh, no, I haven't stayed within the lines. I'm like Picasso or something. There we are. But yeah, it's fine. Kids can have some fun with that and then listen to some low-quality audio, one imagines. Tell you what, I'm going to jump cut to having tested these out. Yeah, they're not great. They're not terrible. They're much better than like those sports headphones or anything you can get in pound shops. But obviously I couldn't test them fully because they wouldn't go over my head because they're designed for little wee bairns. But yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot worse, put it that way, and heard a lot worse, more specifically. Let's have a quick squiz, actually. How much were these? These were originally sold for £4. £4 for headphones like that, and the colouring, I mean, that's a decent enough price, I suppose. Give the kids something to play with and something they can, I don't know, listen to Minecraft on their cheap Android tablets or whatever. But, well, how much did I actually pay? It had 70% off, so that's £2.80 off. So I paid £1.20. For £1.20, what a bargain. Don't know why I'm telling you that, because the shop's closed, so you couldn't possibly buy them yourself. Well, there we go. That is the end of Pound World. Can we all just take one moment of silence to reflect on our fallen comrade? Press X to pay respects. Ah well, 99p stores and Pound World may be gone, but Poundland continues to thrive, mainly because they've got a clothing range out now, where everything costs more than £1, but it's very popular apparently, called Pep & Co. There we are. That's Pound Shop News. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Video ends now. Bye.
Subscribe for more.